Episode number 913, the number one rule to networking.
You're listening to the official BNI podcast with BNI founder and chief visionary officer, Dr. Ivan Meisner. Stay tuned for networking and referral marketing tips from the man who's been called the father of modern networking, along with suggestions and insights into getting the most from your membership in the world's largest networking organization, BNI.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the official BNI podcast. I'm Priscilla Rice, and I'm coming to you from Live Oak Recording Studio in Berkeley, California, and I'm joined on the phone today by Tim Roberts, who is standing in today as a guest host for Dr. Meisner, and he's going to be joining us from time to time. Hello, Tim. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me again today. Honored to be here. And yeah, as you mentioned in the title today, we're going to talk about one thing I've always defined anyways. It may not be, and I don't know that I've ever talked to Dr. Meisner about it, so he might correct me on it. But what I've always defined as the number one rule to networking, it is something that is taught often in BNI, especially in new member success programs. I know in our regions we really spend a lot of time on the referral confidence curve, but what is the rule behind the referral confidence curve? And that is perception is reality. And this is really important for us to think about, especially in terms of BNI members, because we meet so regularly, because it's weekly and we're doing one-to-ones, we can get really comfortable with one another. And that's a great thing. It's a great thing to, a lot of people are not comfortable networking to begin with. Most of us are introverts, not extroverts, present company included. So getting comfortable with the faces you're seeing in those relationships is important. But one of the potential downsides of that is complacency. And complacency, not just in activity or being, a little bit lazy in terms of maybe doing one-to-ones or preparing our weekly presentations and everything else. It really comes down to complacency around the details that we are presenting each and every week. And this is true in BNI. It's true in any other networking. And it's important to realize it's always at play. So what we mean by perception is reality. Another way to summarize it is everything you do, everything you say, and every way you act and dress, etc., is speaking volumes about who you are outside of that networking event or that networking meeting. And when we start making a perception about you, that is our reality. And when it comes to potentially passing you referrals, that perception matters in a big way. So we'll just give you one example of this. If you are the member who consistently shows up 5 to 10 minutes into open networking with a coffee in their hand, you have a perception of somebody who is notoriously late, who will be 5 to 10 minutes late to any meeting they go to. Whether that's true or not, that now becomes my reality. But when it comes time to potentially pass you a referral to one of my biggest clients, I might have a hard time doing that because I might assume now you're going to show up late. And if you were to show up late to that meeting, that reflects on me. We take one step back. It's important to realize what a referral is, a high quality referral. That is someone handing you their reputation. That's what a referral really comes down to. In order to earn a referral, I need to be willing to trust you with my reputation. And we guard our reputations more than anything else, including our own physical safety. So if I have a perception that you are somebody who's consistently late, consistently negative, consistently complaining, consistently underdressed for their profession, consistently ill-prepared for meetings, consistently canceling on meetings, etc., I'm probably not going to be willing to trust you with my reputation. I tell this story all the time, Priscilla. This is a true story. It's a sad story, but one of my best friend, and by best friend, I mean best man at my wedding, godfather to my firstborn, best friend. If he was in business, I would have a hard time referring him. Not because I don't trust him, right? I trust this person with my life, my kids' lives, but he is so notoriously late to everything that we send him a different wedding invitation than everybody else, telling him my wedding was 30 minutes earlier.
Really?
I did not trust that he would show up on time, right? So This really matters when it comes down to it. And the perception is all the details that we project. Again, it's every little thing that you're in control of. And some things you're not in control of. So it's really important that we are fanatical about those that we can. So what's our attitude like? Dr. Meisler's talked about this in the past, that people never do business out of pity. They're not going to do business because you're complaining how bad things are. What's your attitude in general about just following the BNI program or the networking your event? Are you late? How you dress per your profession? And there's no such thing as being dressed too well. How prepared you are. These things really, really matter. And it goes outside of just your networking meeting, your BNI meeting. It is, what are you doing? How are you acting? What are you projecting on things like social media? You might say, I've had a lot of members go, well, that's my personal page. There is no separation of that. If you're connecting with fellow people in your network and you're posting things, especially around in this country and around the time of recording this, when you get into politics and really touchy subjects, there's no separating that. You have to be very, very careful about what you're putting out there. I know at the end of the year, we get into all kinds of holiday gatherings potentially, and chapters will do a lot of social events with one another. How you act at that social event really matters. It is. I've seen a lot of people really hurt themselves. I tell everybody that you can never guarantee, and it's most likely you'll never get a referral because you posted something online or because you went to a holiday party. I can never guarantee you'll get something, but I've seen a lot of people that I can guarantee have lost stuff based on how they've acted in that moment, based on things they're posting online, or again, just based on things that they're consistently showcasing at a BNI meeting that may not be how they would behave outside of that meeting. But this is my perception of you in this moment, in this time. And that's what drives everything. And that's why I think it is the absolute number one rule that perception is reality. And you have to be very, very guarded about those details. And again, I've seen people, so many financial planners and insurance brokers, mortgage brokers, people in finance, they show up to the first meeting. When they join, they're in a suit, they're in a tie, they're dressed professionally. And then you come back 6 months later and they're in jeans and a t-shirt. And, well, everybody here knows that I would dress differently at a client meeting. Do they? Does the new member? Does the visitor? They probably don't. And now they're creating their own perception. Every member in that chapter is going to have their own perception of you. And not everyone has been with you for years. Some of them only been there a week or 2 weeks or maybe a month. And that could be a very different perception than those who maybe started the chapter with you or were with you 2 years ago, et cetera. So it's something we just always have to be looking at, understanding, realizing there are true consequences to getting complacent there. And there are true consequences to all of our actions, right? Once we're in a BNI chapter, everything we do now will have an impact on the results inside that chapter and outside that chapter. There is just no separating the two. That's how networking works because it's all based on relationships. And my relationship doesn't end and start at the start of the BNI meeting and the end of the BNI meeting. It's ongoing and forever. So hopefully that helps some people as we go through the year. And as you're thinking about your membership, I would challenge you to do a self-evaluation. Are you in control of all the details that matter? Are you projecting everything that you want people to think of you outside of that meeting when you're at that meeting or not? And where can you make some changes to help increase your results? There you go.
That's great. That's so true. And it really made me reevaluate how I've been operating. So thank you. Thanks for joining us today, Tim. And thank you for all this great information. This podcast is sponsored by MeisnerAudioprograms.com. These audio programs will provide you with the tools and the inspiration to powerfully enhance your BNI experience. So check out the great material that's available to you at MeisnerAudioprograms.com and use the promo code IVAN50 for 50% off of everything. All of the proceeds go to the BNI Foundation. Thank you so much for listening. This is Priscilla Rice, and we look forward to having you join us again next week for another exciting episode of the official BNI podcast.